Hi, this is Jim, and I was retired. I'm wondering whether I've got this DIY retirement all wrong. And I'm looking for a signal on what to do next here at the East Point Lighthouse in South Jersey. Stay tuned as I reconsider my DIY retirement. So did I make a mistake with all this DIY retiree stuff? This last week I've been thinking about my approach to retirement, which began suddenly more than 7 years ago now. And the reason why I call this channel I Was Retired was I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was retired a month before I turned 59, but now I'm 66. And is that the distinguishing factor in my retirement? I don't think so. I think now I'm at a point where my retirement is much like everyone else's retirement. Except I still strongly believe that it's better to be a DIY retiree, particularly if you've got the pot that I've got, to last the rest of my life. I don't want to give a quarter of it away to a financial planner for an AUM. So I think I'm on the right approach with a DIY retirement, but should I get some help? And that's what I'm going to wrestle with in the next few weeks. I'm going to look at particularly my DIY retirement withdrawal strategy. Now, I've done it for the last 7 years. I've documented it in my spreadsheet for the last 3 or 4 years. But now that spreadsheet is not up to date anymore. The Secure 2.0 law changes changed the RMDs from 72 to 73 for me and to 75 for Marie, based on the age. If you're born after 1960, your RMD age is now 75. If you're in your 50s, it's now 73. And that changes my spreadsheet. The other thing that I'm not comfortable with in my spreadsheet is that it's a lot of manual adjustment every year, and you really can go out only about 5 to 10 years, and everything else is autopilot, just to give you a sense of whether you're on the right track or not. So I'm going to be working with that. And there is no Monte Carlo in my DIY retirement withdrawal strategy. It's sort of a fly by the seat of your pants approach. And so I'm going to compare my spreadsheet with a couple other retirement planners out there on the internet, including those that have a little bit more sophistication to them. Now, will that make my DIY retirement any less DIY? Well, I'm going to use some help, but I'm not paying somebody else to do it. So I think I'm still doing a DIY retirement. Now, I'm going to go through a couple different approaches in the next few weeks. Some of it I'm going to show you on screen with screen recordings, and I know some people just get out there and they see my face on a spreadsheet and they go, yuck, this is not good to look at on the phone particularly. But if you are a DIY retiree and you're trying to learn from the lessons that I've learned, I'm hoping that some time on the spreadsheet showing you the formulas that I've built will help you. I'm also going to show some websites and some engines that I use, two in particular, newretirement.com, and I am a Retirement Planner Plus on that membership. That's a paid level of newretirement.com. But you could try that for free at a basic level and decide whether you want to pay up for the plus services. And they also offer some additional help on a fee-only basis, which I may get to, I'm not sure yet. The other site that I've used, again, only from a free standpoint, is Personal Capital, which recently has been rebranded Encompass. But if you use it for the Personal Capital spreadsheet, the dashboard, you still click in and use that side of the site. The other side is managing 401ks for workplace. But the Personal Capital is the other engine that I'm going to use. Now, I've also used Schwab, and I have not used Fidelity's retirement planning, and I may try those out in the coming weeks as well. All of this is trying to see whether I can perfect a DIY retirement. I've also been thinking, I branded this whole site and my Twitter site, I was retired. And that's because I was retired. I did not retire at the age of 59. But as I said, is that as important as a DIY retirement? Should I rebrand it to something like DIY retiree? Well, then I'd have to rebuild and rebrand, and I'm not sure I want to do that yet. So I'm going to stick with I was retired for a while, but I'm open to your suggestions. It is clearly a DIY retirement that I'm talking about here. It's more of a bogglehead approach of trying to keep costs down, keep your plan as simple as possible, and try to do it yourself as opposed to paying others to do it for you. Managing other people's money is the surest way of making money. That's what I've been told. I don't want to do it, and I don't want to pay somebody else to manage my money either. I'm going to also break up the spreadsheets with a little discussion about them at some sunny, friendly places around South Jersey, like this one, the East Point Lighthouse. It's a quiet, sunny day on a Friday. Came out here, record a little intro to my next few weeks as I look at refining my DIY retiree approach, and particularly that DIY retirement withdrawal spreadsheet. If you're using it, make sure that you have updated RMD ages. That's changed. The other big thing that's changed is that the 401k Roth account does not need to be rolled over to my Roth IRA before the age of 72, because you're no longer required to take RMDs from a Roth 401k, just like you're not required to take them from a Roth IRA. I still may consolidate those, but it's not on a timetable to avoid a RMD at the RMD age. So that's changed as well. Tax laws have changed, tax brackets have changed. I've got an update for the 2023 tax schedule, but I'm still planning out as if taxes are going to change in 2026. I hope they don't. I hope we enact some laws that will keep the current tax code in place, but you have to be prepared for it to end in 2026 as well. And that's when tax cuts that were passed in 2017 expire, and we could all be paying higher taxes in our retirement. So you need to plan for that as well. So if you've got an approach that you use for Monte Carlo in your own spreadsheet, I don't think numbers can do it. I think Google Sheets can do it, and I know Excel can do it. But if you've got ideas, drop me a note down below. And as always, please remember that these are entertaining ideas from one educated consumer to another. always do your own due diligence and seek out a professional or two or some sites if you need help, which I'll be doing in the coming few weeks. So long. See you next week.